Okay. Alchemy had already delivered the baby. Upon hearing this, she jumped in surprise, losing the nods and averagely allowing Alchemy to give birth to Hercules and Iphicles. Fear of Hera led Alchemy to expose the infant Hercules, but he was taken up and brought to Hera by his half-sister Athena, who played an important role as protectress of heroes. Pain, and she pushed him away. Her milk sprayed across the heavens, and there formed the Milky Way. Athena brought the infant back to his mother, and he was subsequently raised by his parents. The child was originally given the name Alcides by his parents. It was only later that he became known as Hercules. He and his twin were just 8 months old when Hera sent 2 giant snakes into the children's chamber. Iphicles cried from fear, but his brother grabbed a snake in each hand and strangled them. He was found by his nurse playing with them on his cot as if they were toys. Astonished, Amphitryon sent to seer for the seer Tiresias, who prophesied an unusual future for the boy, saying he would vanquish numerous monsters. After killing his music tutor, Linus with a lyre, he was sent to tend cattle on a mountain by his foster father Amphitryon. Here, according to an allegorical parable, the choice of Hercules, invented by the sophist Progatis and reported in Xenophon's. Okay, Memorabilia 2.1 2021 or February 1st 21 or some through 34. He was visited by 2 allegorical figures, Vice and Virtue, who offered him a choice between a pleasant and easy life or a severe but glorious life. He chose the latter. This part of the pattern of ethicizing Hercules over the 5th century BCE. By Hera, Hercules killed his children and Megara. After his madness had been cured with hellebore by Antichrius, the founder of the Antichria, he realized what he had done and fled to the Oracle of Delphi. Unbeknownst to him, the Oracle was guided by Hera. He was directed to serve King Eurystheus for 10 years and performed any task Eurystheus required of him. Eurystheus decided to give Hercules 10 labors, but after completing them, Hercules was cheated by Eurystheus when he added 2 more, resulting in the 12 labors of Hercules. If he succeeded, he would be purified of his sin, and as myth says, he would become a god and be granted immortality. Other traditions place Hercules' madness at a later time and relate the circumstances differently in some traditions. There was only a divine reason for Hercules' 12 labors. Zeus, in his desire not to leave Hercules, a victim of Hera's jealousy, made her promise that if Hercules executed 12 great works in the service of Eurystheus' madness by Hera and killed his children after his 12 labors. Despite the difficulty, Hercules accomplished these tasks, but Eurystheus in the end did not accept the success the hero had had with two of the laborers the cleansing of the Augean stables because Hercules was going to accept pay for the labor and the killing of Lernaean Hydra. As Hercules' nephew Iolaus had helped him burn the stumps of the multiplying heads, Eurystheus set two more tasks, fetching the golden apples of Hesperides and capturing Cerberus. In the end, with ease, the hero successfully performed each added task, bringing the total number of laborers up to 12. You may notice, I would say Cerberus is a hound of Hades. It's a multi-headed dog that guards the gate of the underworld, prevent the dead from leaving. Anyway, not all versions and writers given the laborers in the same order. The Bibliotheca gives the following order: slay the Nemean lion. Nemean lion is a mythical lion that lived in Nemea, famously one of the mythical beasts killed by Hercules. Hercules defeated a lion that was attacking the city of Nemea with his bare hands. After he succeeded, he wore skin as a cloak to demonstrate his power over the opponent had he defeated, and slayed the nine-headed Lernaean Hydra. Of course, Hydra is like a serpentine lake monster. The lair was a lake of Lerna and Argolid, which was site of the myth of the Danaides. Anyway, a fire-breathing monster with multiple serpent heads. When one head was cut off, two would grow in its place. It lived in a swamp near Lerna. Hera had sent it in hopes it would destroy Hercules' home city because she thought it was envenomizing them. Capture the golden hind Artemis. Not to kill, but to catch. This hind that was scared to Artemis, a different but still difficult task. It cost time, but having chased it for a year, Hercules wore out of a hind.
Yo WTW.
Yo DJ, what's up? Thanks for popping in, man. Artemis intervened, but as soon as Hercules explained the situation to her, she allowed him to take it, and he presented it alive to Eurystheus. A fearsome marauding boar on the loose. Erymithian boar was a mythical creature that took the form of a shaggy and wild, tameless boar of a vast weight and foaming jaws. Eurystheus set Hercules the labor of catching it and bringing it to Mycenae. Again, a time-consuming task, but the tireless hero found the beast, captured it, and brought it to its final spot. Patience is a heroic quality in the third and fourth labors. Clean the Augean stables in a single day. The Augean stables were the home of 3,000 cattle with poisoned faces. With Augeas had been given by his father Helios, Hercules was given the near impossible task of cleaning the stables of the diseased faces. He accomplished it by digging ditches on both sides of the stables, moving them into ditches and then diverting the rivers Alpheus and Pineos to wash the ditches clean. Stymphylian birds. These aggressive man-eating birds were terrorizing a forest near Lake Stymphylia in northern Arcadia. Hercules scared them with a rattle given to him by Athena to frighten them into a flight away from the forest, allowing him to shoot many of them with his bow and arrow and bring back this proof of his success. to Eurystheus. Christian bull is a harmful bull, father of the Minotaur, was laying waste to the lands of Knossos on Crete. It embodied the rage of Poseidon at having his gift to Minos diverted from the intention to sacrifice it to himself. Hercules captured it and carried it on his shoulders, and Eurystheus in Turin's. Eurystheus released it. When it wandered to Marathon, which it then terrorized until killed by Theseus. Mares of Diomedes, stealing horses from Diomedes stables that had been trained by their owner to feed on human flesh, was his next challenge. Hercules' task was to capture them and hand them over to Eurystheus. He accomplished this task by feeding King Diomedes to the animals before binding their mouths shut. Obtained belt of Hippolyta, Queen of Amazon. Hippolyta was an amazing queen, and she had a belt given to her by her father Ars. Hercules had to retrieve the belt and return it to Eurystheus. He and his band of companions received a rough welcome because, ordered by Hera, the Amazons were supposed to attack them. However, against all the odds, Hercules completed the task and secured the belt of Eurystheus. Obtaining the cattle of the monster Gurin, the next challenge was to capture the herd, guarded by a two-headed dog called Orthus, which belonged to Gurin, a giant with 3 heads and 6 arms who lived in Eurythea. While traveling to Eurythea, he passed through the Libyan desert, and he was so annoyed by the heat, he shot an arrow at Helios, the sun. Helios, impressed, lent him his giant cup, which Hercules used to find Orthus. The herdsman, Eryxion, and the owner, Gurin, he killed the first 2 with his club, and the third with a poison arrow. Hercules then herded the cattle, and with difficulty took them to Eurystheus. Steal the golden apples of his parades. His last labor, and undoubtedly the riskiest, Eurystheus. Wait, hold on. These sacred fruits were protected by Hera, who had set Ladon, a fearsome 100-headed dragon, as a guardian. Hercules had to first find where the garden was. He asked Nereus for help. He came across Prometheus on his journey. Hercules shot the eagle eating at his liver, and in return he helped Hercules with knowledge that his brother would know where the garden was. His brother Atlas offered him help with the apples. If he would hold up the heaven while he was gone, Atlas tricked him and did not return. Hercules returned the trickery, and Prometheus was so frustrated that Hercules was completing all the tasks that he had given them that he imposed one he believed to be impossible. Hercules had to go down into the underworld of Hades and capture the ferocious 3-headed dog, Cerberus, who guarded the gates. He used his souls to help convince Hades to hand over the dog. He agreed to give him the dog if he used no weapons to obtain him. Hercules succeeded and took the creature back to Mycenae, causing Eurystheus to be fearful of the power and strength of this hero. After completing these tasks, Hercules fell in love with the princess of Oechalia. King Eurytus of Oechalia promised his daughter Lol to whoever could beat his sons in archery contest. Hercules won, but Eurytus abandoned his prize. abandoned his promise